Today I'll talk about how we can push AI to the limit to tackle some Islamic studies problems. So we know there has been a huge breakthrough in AI, machine learning, NLP. Okay. So we know there has been a huge breakthrough in AI, machine learning, NLP the last couple of years. And if someone is follows a lot of domains and fields have been benefiting a lot from these advancements. And so today we'll talk about our work in pushing the boundaries of these advancements in an Islamic studies issue. And when I say pushing the boundaries, I don't mean I'm going to get some statistics or do some computational analysis. I mean I'm going to take state-of-the-art AI and try to do something new that has not been done before. And so, as you all know, there has been many ways to record the source of information and transmissions. And in the Middle East, Muslim scholars developed what we know as isnad, where we have narrators transmitting information person to person. And the list of the names called isnad is kind of a very rich text that has a lot of information. And so the isnad we all know is captured a lot of information about the people, about how the metin or the text was transmitted. But one problem is, how do I identify the narrators as they're reported in the text? We have an example of isnad here. Ahmed reported that Abdul Rahman narrated to us from Malik, from al-Zuhri, from Abbad ibn Tamim, from his uncle who said, etc. And sometimes it's easy to know who the narrator is, but quite often it's not. You can have relationships, you can have first names, you can have nicknames, and you have a lot of biography books you have to go to try to come up with who each person is. And so the question is, how do we know? So what we do is, like, as humans, we first detect who the narrators are. In this example, Ahmed, Abdul Rahman, Malik, al-Zuhri, Abbad bin Tamim, and his uncle, as they reported in the text. And then we want to link them to known people. Ahmed in this example is Ahmed bin Hanbal, and we have all his information, when he was born, year of his death, etc. And the question is, can we automate this process? So the first step is easy. People have done it before. Second step is very challenging because each one, we have over 50,000 narrators, and each one can be any of these narrators. So how do we do it? And we tried and we built Ayn, which is a system that can automatically identify narrators for you. And this is not a technical talk. I'm not going to go into technical details about how we built the system. I'm just going to talk about the system and its behavior and look at some of the interesting cases. And so we built a system that identifies narrators automatically, and it's transformer-based. This is a technicality. People who do machine learning, this relies on transformers. And again, technical details are out of scope for this talk. And so we use the Jawami al-Kalim dataset, which has around 1,400 books, 400,000 hadith, 5 million citations, and around 50,000 unique narrators. And so the question we ask is, how good is that? So we have two steps, as we mentioned before. First step, I want to extract the narrator as they're reported in the text. Second step is I want to link them and know who exactly they are. And the system does amazing performance for the first problem, the detection problem. We get around 94% precision and around 98% recall. And what precision recall means is, like, precision means the percentage of narrators found that are correct, and recall means the percentage of narrators present in the data set that are found. And for linking, we get around 95% accuracy. That means the percentage of correctly linked narrators. And just to compare, if you do just a simple like search and look at the name and look at the books and see which name is which, you get around 50%. And so a couple of observations of like the behavior of the system. So one interesting result is we have hadith حدثنا محمد بن مسلمة حدثنا يزيد بن هارون قال محمد بن إسحاق حدثني عبد الله بن أبي نجيح etc. And so the system says Yazid bin Harun, Yazid bin Harun, no problem. Muhammad bin Ishaq, Abdullah bin Abi Najih, no problems here. But the issue is, if we compare it to the label Jami' al-Kalim annotations, we get a different result. Yazid bin Harun is the same, Abdullah bin Abi Najih is the same, but we get a different Muhammad bin Ishaq. And ideally, like the Jami' al-Kalim would have the correct annotations. But if you dig deeper, what we find is Muhammad Ishaq, which has ID 6811, died year 150. The Muhammad Ishaq ID 6807, which Jami' al-Kalim has put, died 270. And you can see it's almost impossible for the second case to happen because someone who died year 2270 could not narrate from someone who died around 140 years before that. And so I'm not saying our system made the correct choice, but I would say it made a better guess than what available in Jami' al-Kalim. And you can see our interface of the system, the hadith we just shown, and you can see here all the narrators, and you can see the nice sequence of death dates, which is expected to be, since that's kind of a narration should be later than the previous one. And what about long names? So one of these systems, once you give it like it's a very long name, it gets stuck. For example, أخبرنا الشيخ الإمام العالم مسند الوقت ملحق الأصحاب رب الأكابر صدر الدين أبو الفتح, etc. I'm not going to say it, otherwise I'll end before. Okay, and it does a reasonable job. It gets all the names, which is not easy. You see the first name, second name, and it captures them. And so we went and kind of made up some examples to see how it deals with relationships. So the system has like two kind of, it has knowledge about hadith, but it also has knowledge about Arabic as a language. And if we give it, for example, Ibn Zubayr told us on the authority of his father, and we know Ibn Zubayr, his dad is Zubayr bin Awam, and it captures it correctly. More surprisingly, if you put his mother, which is Asma bint Abi Bakr, it also captures it correctly. And then we did like an extreme example. Muhammad al-Baqir told us that his father told him on the authority of his father, on the authority of his father. Now, I don't think this exists in any hadith, but we took Muhammad al-Baqir because we know all his, his father, his grand are also narrators. So his father is Zayn al-Abidin, his grandfather is Hussein bin Ali, and then have Ali bin Abi Talib. So it didn't do as well. So the first instance of his father, actually the system thinks it's also Muhammad al-Baqir, which doesn't make much sense. But then it gives you, like the other his father is Ali bin Abidin, and then his father is Hussein bin Ali. So it made a mistake, but it still kind of was able to kind of, and this is kind of a complex even on a language level, like his father, his father, and his father. And then we say about what ambiguities. For example, if we have this kind of narration, Muhammad told us on the authority of a woman, what's going to happen? And what the system does, it says, okay, it knows the woman is a narrator, and it says such some unknown person. It's Mubham. But it captures it as this is part of the chain of transmission, but the system doesn't know who that person is. And man, the same result happens, and boy, the same results. So what's surprising is in terms of, when it comes to man and women, it thinks Muhammad is Muhammad bin Sirin. And if I put a boy, it thinks this is Muhammad bin Munkadir. If I put a girl, it's all Muhammad bin Munkadir. I don't know why, but for some reason it said like, if it's an old person, I'm going to put Ibn Sirin. If it's a young person, that's probably my guess. And then we tried like, okay, maybe it's just, capturing anything. So, I thought of a camel. What's going to say can say, no, it's only Mohamed Alkaoud cannot be a narrator. And then we talk about people like, Western name. Mohamed Alkaoud, this is George, not a George, okay? And it's it's not like this. But as humans, I would say that's a narrator. I don't know who's who. And it's captured that said, okay, George is someone I don't know. So because it has kind of knowledge of Arabic as a language, it can kind of know what kind of concept relates to a human and what concept relates to a non-human. We also tried to input lion. Can you guess what if it captured it or not?
Depends which full line you use.
Asad. So it captured it because Asad is actually an Arabic name. It gives some a narrator called Asad. And there are a lot of interesting cases. Still, we don't know how it comes to these conclusions. But it's kind of interesting that we didn't expect it to do as well. In previous iterations of the system, when we give Abdullah ibn Zubayr and we put his aunt, it gives us Aisha, she's his aunt. But the thing is, if we put Khalatih, it doesn't give. If we put Ammatih, it gives Aisha. But in fact, Aisha is his Khalah, not his Amma. So it's kind of a very there's technicalities that we don't know why they happen, but there's a lot of interesting going on. And to summarize, I think the recent breakthrough in AI offers powerful tools that help us in tackling challenging problems that have not been solved before. And we showed how powerful these tools can be at tackling a very challenging issue. And sorry if I went too quickly, it's just I don't want to take too much time, and thank you.